In today's episode, I'll be ranting about musicians who are way more successful than I'll ever be, but what I lack for in money, I make up for in unassailably great taste. So without further ado, we're going to get into the top 5 worst guitar songs of all time. But this isn't just me making stuff up. This is based in scientific method. In fact, at universities all across the nation, they're doing this study where if you give a sophomore male 5 wild berry truly seltzers, their hands just start to form into a shape and start playing. That's right, it's Hey There Delilah by the Plain White T's. A song that launched 1,000 simp army anthems, right? There's something about that song that just, I don't know, even the name The Plain White T's makes me angry for some reason that I can't totally quantify. It's like, what's a way that we can just really tell the world that we're the most basic band in history without even playing a note of music? Let's name our band the Plain White T's. And you know that those t-shirts are V-necks too. They're not crew. They're 100% V-necks. So that, this isn't in any order, but that's the first song I think of when I think of the worst guitar songs ever, right? Ugh, it's rough. Now, the next one is not necessarily the guitar part that makes it. I can play it for you, but it's every chord progression ever. It's just a 1, 5, 6, 4 in whatever key you want to do it. I'm Yours by Jason Mraz. If you're a guitar player and you've ever actually started dating a girl after you've shown her that you can play guitar, she's gonna ask you to play I'm Yours by Jason Mraz. The most annoying song that is probably ever written. Another interesting fun fact, if you actually Google Jason Mraz hat, and weird guy hat, you end up with the exact same image selection to choose from. It's actually kind of amazing how many hats show up after the weird guy hat until you get into something that is just unequivocally weird. So aside from the hats, it's also like the lyrics in the song. In fact, let me just read you a bit of the lyrical wordplay from this incredible song. Do you, but do you, but do you want to come on, scooch on over closer, dear, and I will nibble your ear. Oh, it just makes me like kind of throw up in my mouth. And it's like giving this advice to people who might be wearing one of these weird guy hats. Can you imagine if you were wearing a weird guy hat and then you invited a girl to nibble upon her ear? I feel like that's not going to work out for anybody and you're going to end up in jail. So I think, even though I didn't rank these at the beginning, I think I'm Yours is definitely probably the worst song of the entire bunch. Also, it's kind of a stretch to say this is a guitar song because there's a lot of ukulele in it. I will actually give Train, Hey Soul Sister as an honorable mention, kind of like a subset of this song because essentially they're the same song. All right, number 3 actually hurts me because I really love this artist, but again, this isn't my list, this is science, so I'm trying to be fair about this. I'm just gonna go ahead and play it. You probably recognize this. Oh my gosh, it hurts, right? Banana Pancakes by Jack Johnson. Jack, I love you, man, but Banana Pancakes is rough. Now, it's not actually, the guitar part is kind of cool, right? Great guitar player, guitar parts are cool. I think it's just kind of like that guitar part paired with the content of the song that is just truly, truly painful, and it just makes me cringe every time. In fact, all right, so here, let's look up some of the lyrics again. So one of the verses, but just maybe, halaka ukulele, mama made a baby, really don't mind the practice, cause you're my little lady. So halala ukulele, I always thought that was just some gibberish, but it turns out it's like actual like Hawaiian. So I Googled what that meant, and basically the internet is like, yeah, even in Hawaii we have no idea what this means. It seems like it's somebody that would say like, oh, you're in trouble, but you're in trouble, mama made a baby. Very interesting. When you have a song where like the main premise is about banana pancakes and making banana pancakes, and that's not the weirdest verse in the song, then you're really onto something kind of legendary. So again, my condolences to Jack Johnson fans, absolute legend. But banana pancakes is just a rough one for me to swallow. The next one I have much less quarrel about just shooting hot fire at is Smooth by Carlos Santana featuring Rob Thomas. It's like as soon as you hear that, It's like the pentatonic. I think it's in the wrong key. I mean, I can play it. So this came out in 1999, and all the children who were conceived during Carlos Santana's Supernatural have now hit the workforce. And when you think of the economy in that way, it just makes a whole lot of sense. Smooth is like if all of your mom's friends were a song. And just the fact that, like, I feel it ushered in this whole ring of featuring. Like, you can't be like, oh, you know that song, like, that Smooth song with Santana. Oh, you mean Santana featuring Rob Thomas? It's like featuring wasn't really a thing before. I feel like the featuring became a thing. Like, you have to really feature Rob Thomas specifically. Why can't I play this non-sarcastically? I don't know. It's just, man, every time I hear Smooth, it just takes me back to like the worst part of nostalgia. It just reminds me of every walk down a supermarket aisle that I've ever had all at once, just assaulting every single one of my senses. All right, and this last one, this fifth one, this is definitely the hottest take of all. And I'm probably gonna get flamed in the comments. In fact, while you're flaming me, let me know what you think your contenders are for the worst songs, and maybe I'll perform them in a totally separate video. All right, this one hurts. Let me just start playing to see if you can guess it. Every time you're walking by a restaurant that hasn't passed a health inspection in 10 years, this song is probably being played, right? You know what it is. Do I have to say it? And then it gets to the... Yeah, it's Santeria. I'm sorry. I mean, Sublime, like, it's kind of a cool song in and of itself. This one maybe isn't fair because it's more about what has happened to this song over the years, which is something that I don't afford Wonderwall. A lot of people are probably like, well, what about Wonderwall? Actually, Wonderwall slaps. Wonderwall's awesome. That whole album is awesome. But for some reason, I don't give Santeria the same pass. And I think it's not because of Sublime. It's because of everyone who's played it since then. And I've heard it a million times. It's like, if there's ever like a white dude who plays guitar and he's debating between appropriating Latin American culture or like Jamaican reggae culture, but he can't decide which one to lean into, he settles on this middle ground that is just Santeria. And I can't explain it any better than that. And I'm so sorry to the people out there who disagree with that. But I just can't. Santeria, I feel like it's lived a long life, and it should just be put away, right? And just let it live on in Sublime recordings. Nobody on earth needs to cover Santeria ever again. So, again, these are not my opinions. Science has dictated that these are the 5 worst guitar songs of all time. So, like I said, if you disagree with any of these, please let me know in the comments, and I will talk to y'all soon. Thanks a lot.